I thought Joe Smith Jr. could get it done going in. I think I favored Alvarez. As a matter of fact, I did favor Alvarez. Joe Smith is he's just a tough son of a bitch. They went out of their way to mention the fact that he was a union guy, carpenter guy. Normally, I think that's corny when the commentary guys say things like that. I don't, because I know how these things happen. They usually ask these guys questions like fucking 2 days before at the fighter meeting, and somebody will throw in some kind of quirky little question in there, and everybody and their mother will run with it and whatever. And Joe Smith, we've known this about him for years on end, so it gets a little bit repetitive. But in boxing, as it relates to boxing, I think that when you got a union guy, maybe this is because I'm a union guy, I'm a brother myself. I think it's something you got to bring it up in the case of Joe Smith Jr., especially if you're in the union. If you've been in the union yourself and somebody's saying it on TV and they're saying this is a union guy, carpenter, right? Now I know. I'm watching from home. I'm a union electrician. I work with the carpenters. I love the carpenters. We banter. We go back and forth. We call them glorified laborers. We fucking make fun of them, right? But in reality, every electrician knows in the back of their mind, you don't want to fight. They're crazy. The carpenters are crazy people. I hang with them. I drink with them. I don't hang with the electricians. But the electricians are a little bit more cerebral. We got to go to school for 4 years. These guys go to school for 1 year to learn how to swing a fucking hammer. Not the brightest guys, but they're fucking tough and crazy. And there's a lot of them. So we make fun of them, but we're afraid of them a little bit. Joe Smith is one of these guys. That's the point. He's cut from this cloth. He's a crazy guy. Comes after Alvarez, and essentially, I agree with the call with Tim and with Dre. You don't want to be sitting there if you're Alvarez, right? Assuming that you could take Smith's punches, you don't want to be getting touched up the way he was. Alvarez obviously was looking to load up, catch him with the single shot, and get him out of there. And he waited, what was it? Maybe in the seventh round, I think he landed a really, really hard shot on Smith. Smith was hurt. If Alvarez pressed it at that point, I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to get him up out of there, like really pressed it and just started just emptying the gas tank out. That would have been the opportunity to do it. But he kind of let Smith off the hook. At that point, I think that Smith realized, I even tweeted it out, I think that Smith realized, like, okay, I can't get hit like that again, because he was ready to go there. A round went by. It was a decent little round for Smith. And the very next round, the second that he had him hurt, he went balls to the wall and got the job done. And I was impressed. Joe Smith is one of these guys. He's one of these guys at 175 pounds that if you don't got your shit together, or if you're starting to slip, or if you are losing a step, Joe Smith is the guy that's he's your Huckleberry. He's going to look that up. Let's see what's wrong with you here, right? Almost like a tune-up. Joe Smith is a mechanic. Okay, let's see what's working and what's not. And in the case of Alvarez, I think that we know that at this point, at the very highest of the high, he ain't quite there. We also know that Joe Smith ain't quite there, but he's a serviceable opponent for a guy like Canelo, for a guy like Beterbiev, for obviously a guy like Bivol, who I think is going to struggle finding opponents more so than the other guys that I mentioned. So it'd be interesting, right? I take Joe Smith at this point, I think, more over the Yildirim fight. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yildirim. I've only ever read it, I think. Yeah, I think I take Joe Smith over him. Canelo and Joe Smith, and I think that for Beterbiev, I think that's a real dope fight. Obviously, I'd favor Smith to lose both of those fights, but again, I know what I'm getting. I know that I'm going to get a guy that's going to put in a good, a really tough fought effort. In the case of Kovalev, again, maybe Kovalev was at a point with Canelo, and again, I'm sure it was hell making weight for that camp and so on and so forth. But Kovalev was not prepared. Joe Smith Jr. would be prepared, and it's a fight that I would be interested in seeing. Not giving them my $20. Will never give them my $20. Unless a million things change over there. but I'll stream it. I'll watch it. I'll want to watch it. I would, under normal circumstances, give them my 20. We're talking about just off a GP. We're not doing it, though. So, that's the Dark Horse Boxing Show. I think I covered it all. I hope I covered it all. I appreciate that you guys stuck around, hung out with me.